Hello, we're super excited today to talk to Roberto Talarico. Hello, Robert. So nice to see you here.
I'm so happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Robert is indeed an inspired Indian. You will find out soon why and how. And we recently, actually, just this year, met serendipitously, right? And I found out about all of Robert's Indian experience and how he even went to India, which is such an interesting story. And I thought we definitely need to bring Robert on the Inspired Indian show. And then recently, Robert also wrote a book. So I'm like, those are fantastic reasons to bring Robert on this show and find out more about your inspiring journey. So Robert, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then definitely, we'd like to go into your whole Indian experience.
Yeah, absolutely. I love it. Thanks for the beautiful introduction. So my name is Roberto, and I am based out of Toronto, Canada. I am a bold, decisive action coach, and I wrote a book called How to Take Bold, Decisive Action. And so my life experience has been uh, not ordinary, very different from my friends or the people around me at my age. I'm currently 27, but I've traveled to Peru to do indigenous ceremonies with them. I lived in India for 3 months under Sadhguru's ashram, where I was waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning and doing yoga and meditation and then volunteering all day and then sleeping at 9 o'clock. And not every day. That's my little secret. It wasn't every single day, but I did my best. Uh, so it was a really powerful experience that shaped my life, and like meditation is still very much a part of my life. And so many things have changed, and so many good things have happened in the life of me and also my clients because it's just only good things come from exploring yourself, and only good things come from expanding your mind, expanding your consciousness, expanding your awareness, and just really knowing deep down that you can make a difference. Like everything in your life is a choice. I hear a lot of people say the word need and like I need to do this and I must do this, but really it's always coming down to we all have a really powerful choice and we're all very powerful creators, whether we're experiencing what we want to or not. So my mission is to bring that power back to people and see how their action, if they take bolder action, then they can actually make a difference in their life and create what they want instead of what they don't want.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Love that. Create what they want and not what they don't want. But take us a bit back, yeah. How is a Robert, a 27-year-old, so well traveled, an author, a coach? Yes,
Yeah.
a little bit more about where it all began for you in wherever you would like to, whatever you'd like to share. But really curious to know how did you become this is yes, you're absolutely right. This is not a normal 27-year-old, usual 27-year-old.
Yeah, it's awesome to reflect on it. So it's great to, be here. So for me, it started like I really felt a sense of anxiety when I was 16. I really felt like I just I felt disassociated. It felt like I was in a dream, and I had this common experience where I was trying to have relationships that would work and I was looking for love, but it just wasn't working out for some reason. And there was like a common pattern. And so that was happening along with the anxiety and trying to figure out who I really am. And so I just embarked on a mission. Like I was doing therapy at the time, I was journaling, I started meditation, I was doing all sorts of courses. I went to Peru and then I was exploring religion, was going to the church, and then I found Sadhguru and went to India, and then I came back and I was still working during all these things. Like I took a leave of absence when I went to India and I took time off to go where I was going. But very much I was still living regular life. So I was experiencing regular life and the mundane, so to speak. And then I was also experiencing this profound like depth and awakening with life, knowing that there's something more to life and that all things are possible. And so it was like kind of a merging of these two things that my journey has been to see that, well, the creation of the incredible is done within the mundane, and there's no difference between the two. So, it's been a really a full scope journey where I've been really like, yeah, just jumping headfirst into doing crazy things. Like this, what the book is all about. I have the book here, How to Take Bold, Decisive Action. And so this is what it's all about, where it's like, calling the ultimate coach from Arizona who charges $100,000 for his fees and asking if I could talk with him, and then talking with him and him telling me about an event in London and flying out to the event 1 week later. Or, you know, messaging another guy's multimillionaire, multiple best-selling author. He's wrote like 100 books, and asking him if he could come to one of my programs, and then having him come to my program. Like just doing really bold things that people would normally stop themselves from doing because they're scared or they think that it won't work.
Mm,
And so many incredible things have happened in my life because of that willingness to just jump headfirst and be willing to face any
mm,
rejection
mm.
that maybe would come with it.
Absolutely. No, this is so interesting that you were taking those. You wanted to get, you weren't, I know there is a spiritual encouragement that we get of accepting a situation but accepting really just means that you're not resisting it. It does not mean that you don't take action to get
Yes.
over that situation. You're a living example of how you got over. So tell us what happened eventually about that girlfriend story.
Yeah, well, it ties in actually specifically to what you're saying right now, where, when I came back from India, I was very, I was fresh out of this kind of situation. And I was just like, when I say situation, I mean a relationship. And it was the same situation that happened a couple of times before. And I was like, why is this happening? Why is the same situation happening over and over? There must be something to it. And that's when I first had this idea that, wait, maybe it's me. Maybe there's something I'm doing or something within my mind or my consciousness that is creating this outcome. Because how is it possible that with different people, the same situation is happening? I'm the common denominator. And the funny thing was, I was very much so in the land of, oh, I'm going to manifest and I'm going to do my meditations and everything's going to happen. And I was pretty much just meditating and hoping for the best without taking any action or really looking at what are the things that are creating the outcome, right? And meditation is great. I still do it. I love it and it's a great tool. But I find that with myself or with others, if you meditate and you take no action, if you're living in a cave in the Himalayas, it's okay. But when you're in society, there's certain things you need to act on and there's certain things you need to do. So the funny thing is this was in like 2019, 2020 when COVID started happening. And so my idea in my mind was, oh, well, I'm going to commit fully to what I'm creating and I'm going to fully commit to doing the meditations even in a way that was more involved when I go to the ashram again in India. Then lockdown happened, and I'm like, wait, I can't go to India. So I decided, I said, you know what? If my transformation doesn't happen right here, right now, then I'm all talk. There's no action, and I'm all talk, and it's never going to be created because I can't even go to the special land anymore. The special land has to be here where I am. That's the important thing. And so I really locked in. I was like meditating like 2, 3 hours a day and then taking like probably 3 to 4 hours of action every single day on all the things that mattered to me, which was coaching, which was, doing a certain inner work where I was analyzing what are my thoughts and my emotions about, in the context of relationship. I also really wanted to teach meditation as well with the Isha Foundation. So I was doing a script like to kind of prepare myself to understand, what's the nature of the like how do I talk uh during the sessions. And then after about I think it was like 6 months of doing this, there was a boiling point where I was in my garage and I was playing guitar And all of a sudden, I just started singing, quit the bank, quit the bank, quit the bank. And I was working at the bank at the time. And I would have normally just not really taken action on this, but there was something about that moment in time where I said, you know what? I'm going to quit the bank and I'm going to focus full force on what's important to me, which is the coaching. And I'm going to get this meditation certification. So June 18 rolls around. And actually, hold on, let me rewind a little bit. A little bit before this, this really beautiful woman that I met at the bank followed me on Instagram. And I was like, whoa, this is amazing. Because when I saw her in the bank, I made a wish in my mind and I said, I wish I could marry this woman. I had that thought.
Wow.
And I really felt it strongly. And I never felt that about like other women that walked in the bank, whatever. Maybe there could be a pretty woman that walks in the bank and it's like, oh, there's a pretty woman. But I never thought like, I want to marry this woman. It was so strong and intense. So June 17 rolls around. I give him my resignation to the bank. And then I think that day, or maybe the day after, it's a little blurry because it was some time ago, but it was like within that day or a couple day span of time, I signed like two, three coaching clients for like five times what I was getting paid at the bank. I I then continued to get certified for the meditation, to instruct the meditation. And then on June 18th, I went to the park with this beautiful woman that I saw in the bank that followed me on Instagram. And we became boyfriend and girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife, that we live together. And just thinking yesterday, it's like how beautiful it is to, it's like, this is the woman at the bank that I was wishing that I was with. And now I'm like with her all the time. Like it's just so magical how it all happened. And, all these things, like even I was saying, the author that came to the program, all that stuff, that all happened within this period of time. And it was really because I just stopped wishing and hoping that things would happen. And I took matters into my own hand and I just ruthlessly took action. And everything just exploded. Like everything became amazing and everything came great. And it was funny because years later I kind of felt like I lost it, but like in recent years it's really been reestablished in my mind. This book has been published. This was published about a month ago. And this is like really talking about all these experiences of Peru and like what are the key principles that really make a difference when it comes to creating what you really want in life. And like I said, like, I was creating one thing by not taking action. Like taking action is creating, and not taking action is also creating. So it's always within the choice of the person. What do they want? So that's my message is I really want people to see that you can actually create what you want if you choose to, and you're always choosing to. So it's not like somewhere out there. You could decide right now and start taking micro actions towards what you want, and that really cultivates like a garden. You just got to water it every day, and it's not impossible. Like things can come to you, things can be great, and they can happen the way you want. You just really have to believe it's possible and take the action.
Wow, 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 wow. Truly magical indeed. What, what,
Yeah.
what a story. And you're right. You took what's called like holistic action, meaning on multiple levels, right? Like you were meditating, you were, doing everything right, like changing your consciousness, your beliefs, you're taking the micro action. Oh my God, this is so amazing, so amazing. Um, Okay, and yes, tell us more about like how yes, I'm sure now you teach this to your clients, right? Like
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you probably have way. So a part of me does not, I definitely has this question, and maybe I should ask you right away. Is there have been times though, and there are people who supposedly put in everything and still don't get what they are putting in everything for. Does that happen? Like, or do you think that like is there an element of that certain things are ordained for you in a certain way? That you will I grew up listening that um, you will never get more than what is destined for you, you know.
Mm.
So I don't know. Is there an element of truth there? Like what's your experience? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful question. A couple of things came to my mind right away, which was one of them was if one, right, if you say ordained, right, if you look at it from the space of if you believe God is real, right? Some people might not believe God is real, they might believe something else, but just insert whatever your belief is and then take it accordingly. If if God would ordain one of his children, and we're all here living and breathing the same air, living on the same planet, why would God not want the same goodness, maybe in a different form, right? I'm not saying everybody will write a book in their lifetime, maybe not, but they're going to do something else that I'm not going to do, right? So it's like I feel like God always has a special plan for each person, and everyone is ordained with their own greatness. Now, there are people that maybe put in effort, but I sometimes feel like maybe the type of effort can be altered. Like, what actions are they really taking? Are they really taking the action that they want, or are they beating around the bush behind busyness that isn't directly going to the source of what they are looking to create? Like, I'll give you an example. I have a client. She is, she went through a pretty traumatic experience where she was in the hospital. Like she was like really mentally disoriented and she came to a state of balance after. But now like, we started working together and she kind of like believed that she can't have greatness because of that experience. Yet now when we've been working through it and we've been talking with like what's really holding you back? And a lot of it was belief that she couldn't. She's doing incredible things. Like she just got within 4 days, she signed like $4,000 worth of clients in her business. She her apartment was a mess and she just altered her thinking. She started taking micro action and it's just like now her apartment is like looking great. She's feeling good about herself. She's taking those steps. So I believe that you can do all sorts of action, but if you're not taking the right action, then it doesn't matter.
Mm,
Like I could work on my website for 10 years, or I could have worked on this book endlessly and not published it into the world. But it was that hitting send and putting this book into the world that made a difference, that got
mm,
people to buy it, that got people to read it, and it got people real results. You
mm.
know, so it depends. Like it's all situation based. It would more so be like if I had a specific situation with someone, then I could really kind of see internally like what's actually going on. Like this is a high level conversation because we don't have a specific example.
Got it.
But yeah, each person is a different case. Everyone has their own set of beliefs from childhood, from everything.
Absolutely. Oh, 100%. And what we are ordained to do, or in that sense, or what we are called to do. Like you said, everybody has a different path that we follow in our lives. And I think we all sometimes we have, depending on our level of consciousness, right? I want to use that word very carefully, but because many a times people don't know what they mean by that. But for me, consciousness is awareness, self-awareness, awareness of the world around you, the world within you. And higher that awareness, better is your ability to understand what, or to intuitively feel what is right for you, or what you are meant to do. I think everybody gets that intuitive feeling, or not. No, it, depends. And then sometimes working with someone like a coach like you did probably helps them get there.
Absolutely.
Is that what happened with you as well? Like, did that?
I have a coach. Yeah, I've had coaches for years now because I firmly if a coach doesn't have a coach, I think it's a sham because you have to believe in what you're giving to someone else. Like I
Sure.
believe the power of it is you actually see your blind spots. And so sometimes, for example, I was approaching coaching from a place before where I was like, oh, I wanted everything to happen in a certain way, right? So it kind of goes back to what you're saying of like, are people ordained? Yeah, I believe people are ordained, but I believe people block their ordainedness because they're trying to make things happen in a way that isn't meant to happen for them. Maybe they
Mm,
need to take certain steps that they're avoiding. And that's kind of the key principle of the book too, where it's like there's always things that people have to do or that people, I don't like the word have, I'll take that back. There's always things that people can do that are very uncomfortable that will lead to them furthering their project or furthering their creation, right? But the thing is, a lot of people don't want to do that difficult thing. They want it to be all pretty and glamorous, and they want to have the fruit of the tree, but they don't want to work on the soil. They don't want to water the plant. Like they don't want to do the work that's necessary to make it happen. And it's not a shaming, but it's honestly just an acknowledgement that there's no there's no easy way. Like when people accept that, it gets easier when you reframe how you're looking at it and you get excited about the fact that you get to cultivate that garden every day and that the fruits are going to come no matter what if you do that. Like it almost hurts more to have a false hope that if I don't take the necessary actions to create that I want, that it's going to come. And you live in this la la land and it never comes, and then you're heartbroken years later when it doesn't come. That's way more painful than just biting the bullet initially and doing the uncomfortable actions that are going to lead to the thing that you want, in my perspective.
100%, 100%, because yeah, you're absolutely right. Until you take that action and take it to the logical conclusion in that sense, you will never know. You will never know. And I think you're absolutely right. A lot of people think they're taking action, think they're working hard, but really, are they? Is the question, right?
It's like
And
auditing your day and your time. What are you actually doing? Right? Like thinking that you're doing something is different than actually doing something. That's one thing. And another thing that popped in my mind too is it's a big trap. People believe that they have to be inspired to take action.
mm, mm,
Like, have you ever noticed when you take action on something that you've been putting off, it becomes significantly easier after you do it one, two, three, four more times? And you can almost have fun with it sometimes. Maybe not even almost, you do have fun with it sometimes. Like that's the thing. People are waiting for this magic moment to start taking action, but it's the action that brings the magical moments.
mm, mm. Oh, you hit it on the nail. You hit it on the nail. And earlier I was going to explain to you what happened about this interview, and I got a whole 7 minutes late. I can share
That's
it
okay.
publicly. And it's very rare that this happens. I was working on something, right? And it was bothering me that it wasn't coming out to be in a certain way. It was a simple creative. And I worked with a designer, it didn't work out. I worked with another one, it wasn't what I wanted it to be. So then I decided I am just going to sit tight last night and work on it until it get shapes up, the way I want it. And I kept on and on and on and on. And before I knew it was like 3:30 a.m. And then this morning I said, I'm going to put my alarm. And sure enough, the alarm didn't go until. But the point relevant to this interview is I had to do the work. I had to, whatever it took, right? I don't know if it was bold. Um, it was definitely decisive, though. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
help
I
us
love it.
understand. Yeah, what do you mean by bold? Help us understand that. I have a sense, but it'll be wonderful to hear from you. Yeah.
Yeah, like so what are the actions that make you quake in your seat? What are the actions that make you really scared? Right? There was a certain time I talked with an illusionist. His name's Wayne Hoffman, famous mentalist and illusionist. He's been on Ellen DeGeneres. I met him at that event that I went to in London after calling the Ultimate Coach. And so we became friends and I got his contact. And there was a certain time where I saw a reel that he posted of a podcast interview that he was on. And he gave a challenge that ask for five things and try to receive five no's for these things that you're asking for. Right? Well, you can ask beyond five things because the goal is just get five no's, right? So I said, okay, I'm going to try this. And there was a book that I saw that became published in this community, and the community has 10,000 people. And I said, I would love to just call this author and see if he wants to do a workshop together. I call the author, he doesn't answer. Next day, ring, 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 my phone rings. I get a call back from this author. He's like, yeah, I would love to do a workshop with you. Right now, this guy's a famous author. Like, I, at that time, felt like, who am I to call this guy and ask him to do a workshop? But I did it and he said yes. Right. And so I did it with a whole other array of things. Like, I probably asked for like 20, 30 things. I asked a comedian with 300,000 followers on Instagram if he'd be open to having a conversation. Yeah, I would love to have a conversation. Like all the things I asked for, I actually lost the game. Like I didn't win the game. I abandoned the game at a certain point because I'm like, I can't win this game. Like, but I realized something profound, which was that I can ask for what I want, and a lot of people are going to say yes. Like the things that you're scared of, the things that you think you're not capable of doing, that's the point is you want to expand who you are. You want to expand your identity beyond the bubble that you're surrounding yourself in. So if you think you're here, I want you to ask for things out here that you
Mm,
can't do
mm,
because when you ask for them and you receive them, you're going to realize, wait, I'm not here. I'm here.
mm,
I'm way beyond what I think I am. I don't need to have years and years of experience to just ask for what I want. So that's something that I would offer to the audience is like play this game. Like
mm.
ask for try to receive five no's. And and then message Vandana or message me, right? This is going to go out in the email. So you'll have a way to contact as well. But it's like I want to hear the results. Like what did you create in
Yeah.
that time? Because I bet you're going to create incredible things that you didn't think was a possibility.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, what you set out to do thinking it's going to be a no, for all you know, may end up being a yes, like it happened in your case.
I
So I'm
I have a
going to,
story as well, if you don't mind.
sure, sure, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So it was just relating, I wanted to bring it up to that point that you were saying about commitment before. So with commitment, there's a chapter in the book that I wrote about my experience of being at a cottage with my friends. And so I was at this cottage and it's my friend's birthday and me and another friend are sitting by the fire and then the birthday boy comes out. Or sorry, there's no fire. We're sitting at on the chairs and I'm looking at the empty fire pit and the birthday boy walks through to us and he starts having a conversation with us. And I said, I would love to make a fire tonight. We should make a fire. And he's like, no, 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 let's not make a fire tonight. It's too much work. And then I was like, no, I want to make a fire. Let's come on, like let me make a fire. And again, he's like, oh no, tomorrow's better. Maybe it's gonna rain today. We shouldn't make the fire. And so I was kind of pressed about this. I was like upset. I was like, why is this guy not letting me build this fire? And then I realized, I'm like, wait a second, this is a shared space that we all paid the same amount of money for. So this fire pit is equally mine that it is his. So I don't need to ask for permission. I could just get up and make the damn fire. So I said that to him. I was like, hey, and he's my buddy, so we just have banter, right? But I was like, hey, screw you, I'm gonna go make the fire. And I stood up and then I went to look for my phone inside. And as soon as I opened the cottage doors, there was a guy that was right there at the door. He said, hey man, what are you up to? What are you looking for? I said, I'm looking for my phone. Can you help me find my phone?
Mhm.
Speaking of phones. So I went to the door. I see this guy. He asked me what I want, what I need. I tell him, hey man, I'm trying to build the fire. Can you help me find my phone? He's like, yeah, I'm on it. And he goes and he finds my phone in like a minute. And then he comes and he puts his shoes on and he joins me for the mission to make the fire. And then we're walking up the side of the cottage and I see another guy. He's like, yo, what are you guys doing? And I'm like, oh, we're building a fire. He's like, okay, I'm coming. And then we're getting the firewood. I carry a couple batches and then I get tired. I'm like, I don't want to be carrying wood right now. I'm at a cottage. I'm supposed to be relaxing. So I go inside and I just went to the room and I'm just chilling out for a little bit for like 30, 40 minutes. I think I was meditating at that time. And then I completely forgot about the fire. And then I went back downstairs and I went outside just without any intention of looking for anything, just to go outside. And I see the guy standing beside the fire. and like in full force, the fire is like blazing and the guy's just enjoying. And it was beautiful. I had my guitar and I sat down and I played Hey There, Delilah. And it was just incredible. The moment was so beautiful. And it was so powerful for me because I realized that when you're committed to something, the moment that you're uncommitted, before you make commitment, everything is against you. There's
Mm.
no ways of making it happen. You're going to find all the reasons why you can't make something happen. The moment that you become committed, you may find a team of people to help you, and then you forget about the project and they create the thing without you even being there. The fire was built without me even being there, but it was my idea that initiated the action. And it came from that moment of, wait, I don't need to ask for permission. I'm creating what I want. And that thought was so powerful that it created a whole slew of events and people to come together to build the thing that I was looking to build. So you're talking about commitment. I feel like that's a relevant story for commitment.
Beautiful. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. The commitment, the intention, what you put out there, right? You just put it out there and then it happened. Oh my
100%.
God. I'm just being mindful of the time the Zoom mails run out on us, but I did want to talk about this is inspired Indian, and I know we don't have to really, what I picked up on what you said earlier, that we don't have to really wait for inspiration. But there is a spark that, sometimes that one moment, and however you want to call it, we call it inspiration. But and maybe we could maybe have a part two if that's okay with you,
Yeah, sure.
because I really want to find out more about your Indian experience and the whole Sadhguru. I know you follow him even today.
Yeah,
And how has that shaped up your life, your beliefs, and most importantly, what you preach, which is bold, decisive action?
absolutely.
Um, so why don't we leave this interview with a teaser, but with a
Sure.
lot of takeaways. There's
Absolutely.
been value bombs all throughout this interview. Honestly, definitely very inspiring. Um, and maybe we'll plan a part two and dig deeper into how all that Indian philosophy or the learnings through Sadhguru have helped you. So
Absolutely.
stay tuned, folks, for part two. This is just the you just scratched the surface. I mean, Robert is a coach. I know we could do an interview every day with you, Robert. But
And
thank you for sharing. Where can we find the book? And we're going to share that in the second interview as well. It's on
yeah,
Amazon.
we could
Well,
sure now. So this book you can find it on Amazon. This is you may see a little thing here that won't be on the actual book. This is just my special author copy, but this is available on Amazon. You can get it paperback or you could get it on Kindle. It's available in many countries, United States, Canada, abroad as well. So if you want a copy, you can find that on Amazon. We'll drop the link in the email. And yeah, it's been awesome. Like, and just one last thing, you said inspired Indian. I think it's great. I think inspiration is awesome, and I also think you can create inspiration, right? That's it's perfect goodness, and we don't have to wait for it to happen. Sometimes it strikes us like a bolt of lightning.
true, true.
Other times you create it. So it's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Robert. And stay tuned for part two. There will be more. I know you already got a lot of from this, but there will be more. So we'll do this again.